Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the VK4503, which is a Tier 8 heavy premium tank that just got released, and I got to play it on my rental a couple times, and I'd like to show you guys a little bit about what it's about and whether it's worth the $40 or $50 or whatever they're asking for it. So we'll start off with the general look of it. The hull looks kind of similar to what you'd get from a Tiger 1 or a VK4502, something like that. Except hull armor wise, you got like 100 in the front, but it's sloped at about 46 degrees. Then on the turret, you've got a Tiger, like the base turret from the Tiger 2, and it's kind of big, it's kind of tall, but the tank's actually a little bit more maneuverable than you would necessarily think it would be capable of doing. So the general size of it's pretty big, and it's pretty similar to what a Tiger 2 feels like, not fully upgraded, of course. So taking a look at the movement stuff, you can see here we've got a 700 horsepower engine, 65-ton tank. It's very good at ramming. Your specific horsepower ton is only 10.77, so when you're climbing hills, it's not especially strong, but going downhill, you're able to keep up about 38, which ain't bad. You got 31 traverse, so it actually turns extremely well, although the soft stats for ground resistance and stuff are actually inferior to the Tiger 1 and the other Tier 7 German vehicles. The gun is the very same gun you get on the Tiger 1. The main differences between this gun and the one that's in the Tiger 1 is that it fires a bit slower, but it's a little bit more accurate and it aims faster. So if you had vents and a full allotment of modules on the tank, this would actually probably drop down to like 2.1, and your aim time would probably be about 7.8 seconds, in that ballpark range. So you're going to have 203 pen and 240 damage, and the DPM is not quite in the same ballpark as the Tiger 1, but the armor is significantly better in a number of ways. So when you're angling the tank and you're able to get like this is going to be about 130 to 150 effective armor, depending on how much you're waggling it. And since the tank has sloped sides, it's able to side scrape around corners when you pull out and not necessarily get auto pinned the same way a Tiger 1 would, which is pretty nice. So you've got 80 in the sides and 80 in the back. Flush shooting sides of the Tigers, usually you're not really have too much to worry about. Another thing that is not surprisingly very strong about the turret is these cheeks here. You're able to, with 200 pen, you can shoot right through the front of these, absolutely no problem. The hatch, I didn't find was much, didn't take too much effort to get through that either. So you're not going to really want to expose the turret if you can help it. Maybe get them to shoot at the front or the sides of the vehicle, rather than if you can get them to bounce off the sides, if at all possible. So just trying to avoid giving them the front face of the B turret here. I guess they're just calling it the VK4503 turret, but it's very similar to, if you take a look at, where's my Tiger 2? There's my Tiger 2. It's very similar to this turret here. Tiger 2 1-50. It doesn't turn quite as quick, but it's not a Tier 8 vehicle, so you can only expect so much. The next thing we'll talk about is just the odds and ends here. The view range is decent. You got 393 view range, and your gun depression is -8, so that's actually quite nice, especially when you compare it to something like an IS or an IS-3 or anything around that area that has crappy gun depression. So that's actually pretty good. The one thing that where I kind of falls down a bit is it doesn't have extremely high pen values for its APCR rounds, but I guess you can't really have everything. But a tier 7 with 200 pen is pretty good. I'd take a 200 pen tier 7 gun over something like the IS's gun probably any day of the week, just because that extra 25 pen is pretty useful, especially when you got to try and pen an IS-3 frontally, and you don't really want to spam APCR like crazy. So module-wise on this thing, you can set it up to be a sniper. You probably take coated optics and a rammer and vents, or you could just slap on. Okay, you can't load a vertical stabilizer. Okay, that's weird. Okay, I guess that's how I would set it up then. I would take optics, rammer, and vents, seemingly because you can't put on vertical stabilizer. I'm not entirely sure why, but you can't. If anyone knows the reason, write write something in the comments section, because I do not know. But anyway, we'll jump into a battle, and we'll show you what I was able to do in my very first game in the VK45. Alright, so we're loading in on Ensk, and you can see acceleration-wise getting up to 30 pretty easily. Tank turns pretty well. I don't really have a lot of other heavy support. I have a KB2 with me, and our other VK45, I don't really know what he's doing. So we run into this VK here, VK45, and I'm going to creep forward a little bit. It looks like that one just blasted right through the front of the turret. So we've traded a little bit, but I don't really want to sit here for too long and take too many hits from this guy. He didn't look like he was going to be too adventurous. So I decided to come over and see what I could do against this other VK who was wanting to engage our Cromwell B. So I put a shot into him there and took his tracks off. And now I'm going to roll up and try and side scrape off. Come out here, see if I can pen the lower plate, but it does manage to bounce. It was a pretty harsh angle, but I'm still testing to see, and it's actually decent that it bounced. But for some reason, this guy wanted to shoot the KV-2 instead of me, so he gave his back up, and another shot into his turret, and was aiming at the cheek, but server lag was a little bit there, so I managed to not pen that. So rolled back, put another one through his lower plate, and I went forward here into the corner because there was quite a lot of them coming around, and I didn't want to give up too much of my tank to them. So there, put one through the front of his vehicle, and the T-25-2 is to my left, so we're going to wait for him to come around. See, the gun handling's pretty nice. It aims pretty fast. And I'm worried about that KV-2 a little bit. Bounce a shot from the T-25-2. And I got to keep close attention to what's going on with the KV-2. And then I get ammo racked. So I'm going to get behind this building. I'm not sure why I didn't repair my ammo rack right away. I don't know if I paid close enough attention that it was actually damaged. Take a little bit of damage from that KV-2. And going full noob mode here. I'm ammo racked, and I don't actually repair it. I think I was really just wanting to concentrate in the game, and I completely didn't pay attention to that. I could have repaired this. I think it's because I used my first aid kit, and I kind of glazed over the fact that that's not a repair kit. And our E-25 is bravely trying to take out this VK-45. And gonna come around the corner, put one into the side of him for 2-something, and then the E-25 drives in front of him again, and I'm waiting and to reload because I'm out-racked because I'm an idiot. And I'll pull out a little bit. Didn't side scrape too magnificently there. Can't really see where I got penned. Maybe through the side. And I would have been able to kill him right there if my armor rack was actually fixed and I wasn't a complete idiot. So I come around. And before I can kill him, of course, the other VK rolls up on pretty much full hit points because I don't know what he did. I think he hid in the back or something. And this is where I was going to probably do a little bit more damage. I probably would have been able to kill this SU, but the camera decided to completely freak out and send my reticle into the air, and instead of being able to shoot him and pen him, like, it was just jittering and jacking all over the place because this entranceway is really, really narrow. And yeah, just another one of the shortfalls of a wargaming title. So put that shot into the artillery, racked up 3 kills and 2,700 damage overall. Didn't really side scrape as well as I would have liked. Didn't really get the ability to do that, but I think it has the capability of doing it and achieving better results than maybe what I was able to show in this video in particular. You can see that it doesn't have very good armor on its gun mantlet, and its turrets just in general isn't that strong, so that's probably where I would be shooting at it more often than not. You can see I took a shot in the side there, and I think this is the very first shot I took from the VK at the beginning of the match. So overall, I think the tank's okay. It's up to the individual player if they think it's worth their $40 or $50. But you could probably do worse. It's going to see tier 9 vehicles, and you'd have 237 pen with APCR to pen those. So it wouldn't be an impossible task, but your armor is going to become increasingly irrelevant versus those. They're going to be able to pen you anywhere through the front. So you're going to have to keep that in mind. But just generally overall, I like the mobility of the vehicle. The gun depression is good. The armor can stand up to anything from tier 5, 6 fairly easily, except if they're firing from a bigger tank destroyer or something. They're going to be able to go through the front of the turret and sometimes the front of your hull fairly easily from something like a ST mill. However you want to stir a mill, however you want to say it. One of those could hammer through the armor on this pretty easy, I think. But they're going to hammer through armor on the Tiger 1 easier. So just in general, the tank's pretty good, the gun's good, and it's something you can rely on. I like that it's really, really accurate. So you could play this thing as a sniper tank in the back, and I think it would actually be a pretty good versatile vehicle that way. It's not going to be the fastest thing out there, but you could probably do a lot worse than this. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.